Good evening. I'm Jeff Holland, DPW Director here in Shrewsbury, and at the table I also have Andy Truman, the Senior Civil Engineer. Uh, Thank you for coming. You all don't have to sit in the back. You can feel free to come up front. Feel like I'm at town meeting. So tonight we're going to talk about the realignment of Lake Street, basically from Hawkridge south, that's in front of now what is or previously the Clavin Center, down toward the soccer fields. We are actually doing two separate projects. We are doing a water main improvement from basically a driveway to Buffalo Wild Wings up to Hawkridge, and then we're realigning both horizontally and vertically the roadway from Hawkridge down toward the soccer fields. The purpose of tonight is because of the realignment, we, after numerous discussions with the contractor, the project manager, etc., it was determined that the only practical way to lower the road, and we are lowering the road as much as 8 to 10 feet from the current elevation, is to close that road for safety reasons. So up on the screen now is the sort of the aerial of the Glavin Center. Glavin Center being almost in the middle. If you, what's that?
It's gonna be the hostess with hostess?
Sure. And so if you've driven Lake Street, right where the old barns used to be, there used to be a fairly steep hill and a sharp corner right at the top of that. The idea of this is to take the curse off of that hill by making the curve at the top smoother and also lowering that elevation. I believe it's up to 9 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Fortunately, we don't have much utilities in that section other than a water main and overhead electric. And electrics actually stops at that location. So the water main will also be installed through that section. The contractor plans on closing Lake Street in this area from, again, just south of Hawkridge, starting September 3rd, which is Tuesday, and will run approximately through to about December 15th. And then it will be open for, my understanding at this point, it'll be binder course paved, which would be if you've driven the other section of Lake Street that's right now is binder course pavement, so it's fairly smooth. But it'll be open through the winter. So really open it up for questions, concerns, comments from the public. We'll take if you have any questions. Don't be bashful. No? Patrick?
Why don't I just, since we're here, want to feel like this was meaningful for all of us to come, is just to make mention about the school bus routes. For those that this is being taped, I believe, maybe?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that if somebody's watching it later, that we opened up the school year in conjunction with AA Transportation, who is here this evening with us, having changed the bus routes to anticipate the closure, so that we wouldn't have disruption after the first couple of weeks of school. So all of the routes that would typically drive through there on Lake Street in the area of the work have been rerouted already, and there really were no bus stop changes as a result, just really route changes. And it did add a little bit of time to some of the routes. So that will persist all the way through to the school Christmas break. And then during that break, we'll communicate with families that are on routes in that area and let them know that the times are going to change a little bit because the road will reopen. We'll actually have a little bit shorter routes, and so some of the pickup times may change. So we'll do that during the Christmas school break. So I just want to make mention of that, that there won't be any disruption or changes to opening school bus routes. It's already been done, and that we'll do it at the next logical break which is the school vacation. Even if the road were opened up, on the 15th or a little bit earlier, we're going to wait till that break for it to happen. So just want to make those comments about the school.
Thank you. We've had several discussions with the fire department, the police department, and we did with school transportation, and discussions were all brought to them. We've had numerous meetings to make sure that public safety wasn't going to be a concern, the school buses weren't going to be a concern. So those were all worked out before tonight's meeting and before the contract was even determined that, yes, we could close the road. We wanted to make sure that police and fire didn't have a major issue with if the road was closed, if it was going to make a major impact on their response time, and they said no. So we do have, the contractors if you've been out, has put up some detour signs. The soccer fields, obviously, fall soccer is just starting now. Fields, the access to the soccer fields will be open. The road will be closed before that, but it will probably have a sign that says open to the soccer fields, because obviously the parking lot is beyond High Lear to the south, and so they want to make sure that the soccer fields are open. This school does not have any impact on the soccer fields at all. The construction is to the north of the soccer fields. So there's actually two parking areas. The one that's sort of right where the word Google is that one will remain open, and also technically the one just to the north of that. So those will remain open.
Actually, that third parking area will remain open also.
Cool. Right, okay, so there's actually three areas, but all three of those will remain open. But the general traffic will say road closed, so that you don't have the general traffic going in, turning around, having to turn around at the parking lots. Ideally, the traffic detours will be to Oak Street via Howe Ave, if you're coming up from the north. And if you're coming up or coming down Oak to Howe Ave to get, I'm assuming that most of the residents who live from the area will know how to get around, but the signage will be up to come down Oak to Howe Ave and head south on Lake Street. There will be signage at the intersection of Route 9 and Lake Street, so cars don't actually turn in and then get to Hawk Ridge and realize they have to turn around. So we want them to be able to, before they even get there, be able to stay on Route 9 and go to Oak Street. We've had discussions with Mass DOT, obviously, because that may have an impact on the signal at Oak Street in the distance there, so they're aware of what we are doing and are cooperating with potential signal changes if necessary, if we find out we have a delay at Oak Street. We personally went to each of the businesses, the Buffalo Wild Wings, and the tile shop next to it, and the businesses that are associated where Bartel's Market, and those 6 or 7 businesses in there, and none of them have an issue. It's a truck excluded road anyway, so they don't get deliveries from that direction, but they've already told their employees about the road closures. And none of them had any concerns, and actually kind of liked the idea of the fact that the curve was being taken out and make it a safer route. So feel free to ask any questions if you have. If not, I appreciate everybody coming. I do appreciate the fact that we did have more than we had the last time. The last time we had 2 people, one from the school committee and a selectman, so they already knew about it. So this will be posted on our website, and as progress is made, we'll continue to update the website on any other issues with it. But we can't foresee, the contractor has believes that this will be done well or at December 15th or earlier. So as soon as it's open, the binder's down, it will be open for the general public to go back, and the signs will be taken down. It will be top course paved probably at the end of the project, so my guess is, would the school open 21st, 21? So probably the summer of '21 is when it'll actually be top course with the rest of the school, is my guess. I appreciate you, everybody coming, and if you have any questions that we couldn't answer tonight, please contact the engineering department. Thank you.